Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sliced Lime. Entrapment is out. This video is going to be how to walk through on how to play Entrapment, how the controls work, the games work, what's in the chests, what the rules are, all that kind of stuff. Let's get into it. The first thing you're going to get is a welcome message to the map. You're going to spawn in. If you're on a multiplayer server, actually, you're going to be spawning in way over here. As you can see, there's a help. So the message is click here. You can click here, just bring up the chat and click here with your mouse pointer in order to get a help thingy. Whoops. Or you can walk over to this help button and you click the help. You can see it takes 1 minute 30 seconds. That content is going to be in more detail in this video, so don't worry about it. But if you want a refresher, you can go in there. So for a quick overview of the game, this is a player versus player map, but you'll never see, or at least you can't directly battle the other team. You're gonna end up in an arena. It's a bedrock box essentially with a little spawn area attached, and it's at build limit, so you can't build out of it. The other team is gonna end up in an identical arena, and what you have to do is set trap for your opponents. The game is played out over a set of rounds. A round can be anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes or more, depending on your settings. The best ones we've found have been between maybe 2 and 5 minute rounds. And what you have to do is you have to set traps for the opposing team. When the timer runs out, you're going to be switched into their arena and they are going to be switched into yours, and then the whole cycle repeats. So you end up in this lobby. This lobby is where you have the controls for the map. Over here, you can select the arena here. We'll go through that a bit at the end. But for now, we can just do random arena, and it will load a preview here, and you'll see the name and chat of the map and who made the map. So in this case, the mining station by Maloma. And then there's a ready check button, there's the round length, amount of time added per round, and maximum time added. We'll go through those later on. What you want to be doing if you're joining a game is you want to walk into one of these clouds. This blue cloud here, over here in the blue section, makes you join the blue team. Over here in the red section, makes you join the redstone team. So there's Lapis and Redstone, blue and red teams fighting it out on this map. That is that, and in order to continue this demonstration, let me bring a trusty helper into this map. Alright, so I've opened the game to LAN, and it's perfectly valid to play it that way. What happens is other players can join your server by just going into multiplayer and looking at the bottom where there is a list of the local area servers. So my other account is now joined in. We're in the level, both of us. We're going to go with the default settings for now, and we're just going to do a ready check. So throw the snowball that's marked ready. If you're ready, you get 2 of them. And if everybody throws the ready snowball, then we get ready check passed. And it's going to lag a bit now because what's going on, actually, since I'm in creative mode, I can show you this. The maps are being copied into these arenas. They've all been copied over now. The client's a bit slow. Countdown happens, and then we get smacked, teleported into the arena. Now, this little starting area here is your safe zone. You always end up here whenever the round switches, and as you can see, I have some particles on, means I have resistance. I cannot be hurt in here. I also have saturation, so you never need to worry about food on this map. Countdown is going in the corner there. These are barrier blocks. As you can see, there's something in the way here, but as I walk here, it opens. So you're completely safe in here. Nothing can get in here, and if you place a block in here, it will break immediately. If you place an entity in here, it will get thrown out. Also, you can't place any lava 3 blocks in front of this entrance or above. So we can exit through here and go into the map. And as you can see, way over there, I have some kind of particle beam. Now, if I run over there, you'll see that it's attached to a chest. This chest spawns once per round, and if I open it, I get dispensers and fire charges. Nice. So let's grab these, and you'll see I got 104 fire charges and 4 dispensers. So now I can use these to set up traps, but obviously also I don't have any tools, so I can break some wood and build up some tools. Okay, I've just been gathering some wood here. 10-second warning, leave the spawn zone. And now, as the round time hits 0, we're going to go to the other arena. Now, why was there a warning? Well, because if you manage to trap your opponent in the spawn zone and they can't even leave the spawn zone for the entirety of a round, then there's actually a penalty for that. And if I check, you see my alt account here never got out of his spawn zone, and so he took 5 hearts of damage. So when there's 5 seconds left of a round, you will start taking wither damage, and that damage is 1 heart per second. So you really need to get out there. If you can't get out of there at all, you take 5 hearts of damage, otherwise you take damage corresponding to the amount of time you spend in there. And 5 hearts of damage is actually quite a lot on this map, since you're playing the entire map without health regeneration. Now, this is the second chest. It has minecarts with TNT in them, so I can grab some of these, activated rails, some rails, powered rails and stuff, and I can build traps using these by sending the carts around. See, it fills up a large part of my inventory. And if we go over to this chest over here, chests are in a random position. They'll be in a different position per arena, so that's the only thing that differs. But if we check this one, it's actually the same contents. So once you go out into the arena and find the chest there, not only do you get trap making loot, but you also know what trap making loot the other team got. So they're the same for both teams. And I'm going to show you all of the chests through the course of this video. So just as normal, you'll want to make yourself some tools, you'll want to get some materials, and yeah. And now I'm actually going to leave the spawn zone with my alt account, so we can keep going here. There's some materials on these arenas that are limited, and it depends on the arena. Like in this one, obviously there's a bit of wood here, but lots of stone, lots of other resources like that, but maybe not so much water, and maybe not so much other materials like that. Oh, that is the one from the previous round. All the way over there is the new one. Like I mentioned, you're not allowed to attack the opposing team directly. If you try to get out of the arena, you'll be punished, you'll take damage. And if you try to shoot them with arrows or something like that, the arrows will be killed in mid-air between the arenas. There's no way to directly harm the opponent. This one is brewing, so you can pick up this brewing stand and go get some water. There's all the materials you need in here to make splash potions of poison. But of course you have to manage your time with that. I will show you all the arenas in a bit more detail than there was in the trailer as well in this video, but what you will notice is that there's a large amount of variety between them. So this one is mostly stone and wood and stuff, lots of resources exposed. A lot of other ones are more normal kind of terrain that you'll see in Minecraft, but with some twists. Some other ones are completely custom with lots of cool little builds and features in them. But yeah, just to show you a bit, I mean, maybe we could put this in here, and then we can make a redstone circuit. Some of these chests contain redstone circuits. You can make a quick little redstone clock, and you can make this fire a lot of stuff. A lot of fire charges across, and if you do that with the correct timing, so you started with a bit of delay, maybe somebody will like walk out from here and then get hit a bunch. The trick to entrapment is to figure out how to make your traps in a way that they are not immediate, because if they're immediate, then anybody who's just in the spawn zone is going to see them and just stay put until the trap is done. Or you can try to block somebody in completely. With that, I'm going to leave my other account in the spawn zone, and of course it's going to die from that because it'll take another 5 hearts of damage. So now game over, Team Redstone won, because my alt account withered away and we're all brought back here. Of course now my alt account is dead, so it's going to show up there when the respawn happens. So before we go and look at all the arenas and all the chest contents, let's just walk over here and take a look at the controls. And the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to authenticate. If you're playing on Realms, then everybody has control of the map. There's no specific operator, but otherwise you will need to be an operator on the server. If you're in single player, you're the operator, that's fine. Otherwise, you're going to need to be operator set, and I assume that if you're running your own server, you know how to do that. Anyway, you're also going to have to tell the map that you are an operator. And to do that, you just click on one of the controls, you get this message. Game settings can only be changed by operators. If you are an operator, click here to authenticate and then try again. So what you do is you just bring up the chat window, press T, and you bring your mouse pointer over here, click to register as an operator, and you click. And it says Sliced Lime is now a game operator, and that lets me then use the controls. So we have this blank box right now, and we can load up arenas in them. We can do that in 4 different ways, actually. We can use the random arena that I used before. It just picks a random one of the 10 available in this version. Or you can use the arrows. This is like the previous one, Anomaly by Maloma, or you can the next one, and you can browse through them like that. Nether Invasion, Dark Forest, Mountain Wall. These pretty much show the arenas in the order they were added into the game. Or there's this one that says Mountain Wall by Slime, and if I click that, I actually get a list in the chat of all of the ones, so I can just go directly, if I want Minor Caves here, I can click that one, and it pops right up. So that's a good way of choosing if you know which arena you want to play. So round length, there is 4 different options for this. There is the default we had here, quick 2 minutes, slow 5 minutes, marathon 10 minutes per round. That's going to take a long time, and blitz. And this is the starting length of a round. So the very first round will be this length. Then you can also add time each round, which is a pretty cool mode because you kind of often want lots of chests of goodies in the beginning. So you stress out a bit in the beginning. You can start with blitz and then add 10 seconds per round. So the first round is going to be 1 minute. Second round is going to be 1 minute 10 seconds. Third round is going to be 1 minute 20 seconds, and so on, until you get to a maximum time added, which is this 2 minutes is just a quick browse between, no limit, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes. You scroll through them by clicking, and that goes for all of these signs. So you could add up to 30 seconds or 0 seconds per round. So this way you can customize the rounds pretty much. And yeah, one thing that we've tried that's been really fun has been to add a bunch of time, maybe 15 seconds, but start at blitz and then add a couple of minutes. So you're up to maybe 4 minutes in total. So those were the controls. Now let's head over and check out the various arenas and the possible loot you can get. So now I've teleported over into the actual logic section of the map. Here's all our treasure chests. These are the available ones. What happens is every round, one of these is picked and it'll be cloned into both of the arenas at random locations. So these are the available ones. There is one with pistons and redstone blocks, both types of pistons and blocks of redstone. There is one with a bunch of lava buckets. There is one with bows and arrows. There's one with brewing stuff and the stuff to make splash potions of poison, if you know how to make them or look it up. There's one with TNT, gunpowder, and some redstone. There's one with hoppers, redstone, comparators, repeaters, and string and tripwire. Basic redstone stuff. There's also some disabled ones that didn't work that I might be adding back in other versions. Then there's the spawn egg ones, so they always have a dispenser. And 16 spawn eggs, or fewer ones for the most powerful mobs. This one is creepers. And there's also zombies, and spiders, and skeletons, and pigmen, and blazes. And then finally one with only dispensers, cave spider, and witch spawn eggs. And there's fewer of those because they are more dangerous. Then there's the one we saw before, dispensers and fire charges. TNT, minecarts, and rails with various properties to activate them. And slime blocks and cobwebs. And then finally, monster brick, so the hidden silverfish blocks. That was all the available treasure. Let's go look at the arenas. Alright, we are now over in the arena repository part of the map. Here's where the templates are for all of the arenas. You can see it's not actually the arena, just at the edge of one here. This is the first one. It's called Nether Invasion, and it's sort of a portal to the Nether kind of place. It has a bit of a mountainous region here. It has a gateway into the Nether section right here. So you get in here. There's a Nether section here with a fortress bit, and there's actually, if you go in here, you can see it more clearly. There's more gateways. So there's one gateway up here, and one also down here in a cave system. So there's a few different entrances, ways to get into the nether part. And when this map is actually running, when it's live, these are lit up with some fancy particles and stuff. But of course, the chest can end up in both sides of the map. The one thing that can't happen is it can't end up on the top of the arena on the very, very top layer, like so. It will always end up at least one step down. So that is Nether Invasion, a pretty cool map. We had a lot of trouble with this in playtesting, but it turned out really well after a few iterations of it. Okay, next map. So we're standing at the start of the Dark Forest map. This is essentially a normal roofed forest bit, and it's been combined with a bit of other goodies over here at the end. So here you'll see we have a bit of a ravine and abandoned mineshaft and stuff. So there's plenty of materials and stuff to explore here in this side of the map. But most of this map is taken up by a big roofed forest part, so if you play this map, expect the chests to spawn on top of the trees and you'll have to go hunting for them there. Of course, there's plenty of wood and stuff here. Also note that the entrance is actually down here. You can see it marked by this thing. It'll actually be above the lights here, so you'll actually start in a bit of an uphill, which is an interesting change from most of the other maps that start in sort of flat land area up here. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, we are in the third arena. This is called Mountain Wall. This is also my arena. It's a big mountain wall, as the name implies, and you have to go around this way to sort of get out into the main section, where there's a bit of a cave area and a lava fall and some waterfalls. There's also actually, if you go back here, a second way in. That's sort of a little cave area that leads downwards and through here. Here's an alternate way through to this little area. Of course, the chicken is not going to be there. It's only going to be the blocks. And if we go way out here, we have a bit of a flowery area with some pond and a bit of sand if you want sand and stuff. There's some different materials over here, some more wood if you didn't get the wood from way over here, because there's just one tree, obviously. If you fail to get this one, then your opponents could starve you out of wood. I'm pretty sure there is also a bit of wood underground somewhere. But that's more difficult to find, of course. There's one thing I should note, and that's whenever there is mountains like this, you see up here, there's nothing preventing the chests from spawning up here the very first round. And that means that almost everywhere, I'm not sure there's a guarantee, of course, but I've tried to make it so there's always a path up. So you can see, in this case, you could sort of make your way up this mountainside. So if you find a chest that you can't really reach, just try to go around it. But of course, it's always good to get a pickaxe and some materials so you can dig your way up or stack your way up. Let's go to the next one. We are in Burning Desert. So it has a bit of a desert section here. It also has a few trees here. You'll really want to get these trees, because if you don't, then your opponents can get them and you'll have a really tough time if you don't have enough wood. The burning name of the map, of course, comes from this exposed lava pool. There's a bit of resources around here. You can see some coal there. You can get stone easily here. And there's also a village section with villagers that aren't going to be there when you play the map, because they are not part of the map. They've just spawned here randomly. But yeah, there's a well, some water in it as well, and then the rest of it is mostly sand, so it's an interesting change of terrain. One thing is the spawn zone is right here, so there's water outside of that, which means it can be hard to get out of if you don't have something to step on. Alright, let's go to the next one. Now let's go to the final one that has been made by me in this version of the map. This is Tranquility Village. It's a nice little village section, and the interesting thing about this map is the spawn zone is actually not here. It is under here. So you actually start out here in this section. So immediately you can see there's some exposed materials. You enter into a cave system, kind of a confined space, a bit different from the other arenas, and then you can make your way up here, or you could kind of dig your way through if this way is blocked somehow by a trap. Plenty of wood in this map, both trees and the wood in this village section. One thing of interest, there's lava here in the forge area of this village. Some furnaces that you might want to use, though they are empty, but there's also a chest here with a bit of material that you really want to grab before the enemy team does. Food here, but of course you don't have to bother about food. Some cave systems open here that you can find further into the map as well, so if you head over back here, you will find some more materials if you head down there. Another interesting feature is there's plenty of gravel on this map, so you could potentially mine that up and you could have materials to make a trap based on dropping falling blocks on the head of your enemy. Let's go on to the next map. And welcome to the garden. This is the first map that we're looking at that wasn't made by me. This was made by Maloma, and I gave her a bunch of feedback on it, and it's been adapted a couple of rounds after playtest, and it's a really, really interesting map. So you have the entrance right here, a little bit of an open section and a big tunnel through, so this is a good choke point for traps. You also have a bit of a way up here. Ladders here actually don't work in the copied arenas. It's a bit of a problem with the map that I haven't been able to do something about, but you can still climb up here if you need to. There's a bit of a hut over here, and actually when you play the map there's going to be a villager up here with some potentially useful trades. There's a big nice looking bridge over here, big sort of farmland cultivated area over here, a big pit over here, a big sort of tree with an entrance to it here. There's a little hidden enchanting section over here. So there's a lot of stuff to explore around this map. And yeah, if you are playing this map, make sure you look around and find all the goodies that you can possibly use. Let's move on. Alright, we are over in the next arena. This is the Miner Caves by MinerFreak951. And as you can see, it's got a bunch of resources exposed. This is like one of those stone-based maps. You have a bunch of resources here. You really want to grab this TNT block and probably the redstone here too. More redstone exposed in the floor of the map, so it's really useful to actually get an iron pickaxe on this one. Major feature to notice is this bridge that contains the entirety of the wood available on the map, so you really don't want to get starved out of that one. Really nice little broken feature of the bridge here where the track has fallen down into the pit and stuff. Nicely made map by MinerFreak. So that's Miner Caves. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Abandoned Castle Arena by Alex 2001. This is another extremely impressive build. There's some effects and stuff that's not running. It will be there if you're running the map, but this is a really nice looking waterfall when you're actually looking at the map. There's some stuff here from the start, a bridge over up here, and then we have this section out here. There's a tunnel here behind the waterfall too that you can walk through. Nice choke point, but you can also go up top if the tunnel's too trapped, or dig your way through, of course. Over here we have a halfway raised drawbridge to this castle, and a nice little way inside there. And up here there's some redstone blood traces and skulls, levers and stuff. Of course, the castle itself has some secrets inside of it also. I'm not going to give it all away, you have to search, but yeah, really nice atmosphere in this map. Had a good fun on this, had to make some adjustments after first playtest, but it's a really solid map. There's some custom mechanics in it that you can find too, so you can get some nice custom rewards, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful when all the effects and stuff are running when you play it in-game. So some solid map making from Alex 2001 there. Let's move on to the last two arenas. This next one is the first one we looked at. It's the Mining Station by Maloma, and yeah, it's got, you obviously see the wood exposed, kind of abandoned mineshaft style wood up here, and you really want to grab some of those because yeah, they are the only wood you'll find, but there's quite a lot of it down below on this map too, so it's not quite as starved for wood as the Miner Caves. Mr. Max Mining Station, keep out stuff in here, go grab it, don't let it fall into enemy hands. And of course also a bit of a ravine here, and down here on this track actually, when you play it, or over here I believe, on this track here, you will find a minecart chest, so it's definitely worth getting that one. And the same goes over here, you'll also find a minecart chest, so you want to get those and don't let them go to waste. And of course, the thing I didn't mention in here, you have furnaces with a workbench. There's nothing in them, but they're really good resources to grab early. There's a bunch of exposed iron and other stuff here, so resources are not so scarce on this map, but yeah, really worth getting. let's head on over to our final arena. Arena number 10, also by Maloma. This one is called The Anomaly. Really interesting concept. We have the emergency lab. I am definitely authorized personnel. Samples must be handled with care. So, yeah, there's a bunch of interesting stuff in here. Handle it with care. Brewing stand, you might find that useful. Hopper. Some pressure plates, some crafting bench, of course. There's the wood in the building and all that stuff. There's also 3 villagers here, but they have no special trades on this map. Living quarters. You find a bit of stuff here you might want to explore. And then, yeah, forge area, canteen, furnaces here. And, yeah, a bit of stuff. But of course, again, you don't need food on this map. Lava can be useful, of course. And then we see the anomaly itself. And beware, stuff's gone wrong here. Sheep are, yeah. Something troublesome has happened over here. And yeah, there's this section, lots of mushrooms if you find a use for them. And a bit of exposed stone here where you can start grabbing some materials. Some trees, but not all that many on this map, so maybe you can manage to starve the opponents from wood if you're quick. Really nice arena by Maloma there. And that is the last arena we're going to go through. And yeah, that's really all there is to playing Entrapment. You can play it 1 versus 1, of course. The only requirement is that there's 1 player on each team. So 1 blue versus 1 red is fine. I would recommend that you play it with more people if you can. I think 2 or 3 on each team is ideal. It works with 4 or 5 too. It works with, there's no upper limit, but it becomes chaotic if you have too many people, and it becomes sort of, well, it's hard to split the resources up from the chests, let's just say that. So that's that. I really hope you enjoy Entrapment. I've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun. A lot of people really liked playing and even watching the games of Entrapment. Well, we've been playtesting, so I really hope that you'll enjoy it now that it's out. So that's it. Of course, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Just leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you found this useful, please help out, leave a like, maybe even go like the map on Planet Minecraft. And yeah, enjoy Entrapment, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.